Omega, and I am representing the hardworking men and women of the ILWU, International Longshoremen's and Warehouse Union, Local 13. We stand here with you today in support of your plight. As was mentioned earlier, we as well are facing a fight with automation. It is on our doorstep, and we are doing what we can to hold it off. Automation should enhance the ability for workers to do their job, not replace them, not displace workers. I have the understanding that companies like Uber are investing in technologies to eliminate drivers. We need to stand up against this. I'm going to read you a quote here from Moshe Vardi, who was a mathematician and computer scientist, and it really struck me when I found it. It said, I believe that society needs to confront this question before it is upon us. If machines are capable of doing almost any work humans can do, what will humans do? This is a question that we need to think about moving forward. Drivers, we appreciate your support, and that's why we're here. We'll continue the fight, and we will come out victorious, I believe. But it's going to take a lot of work. This is a grassroots level movement going, and it needs to grow. You need to reach out to drivers. You need to reach out to customers. You need to reach out to the community and let them know what's going on.
You're right. So, if you got to take extra medicine to sleep while you're counting your billions that you've made off the blood of workers, well, I hope you don't rest easy. So we want to say, workers of the world, support the strike.
Support the strike.
The workers of the world, support the strike.
Support the strike.
Workers everywhere, support the drivers.
Support the drivers.
Workers everywhere, support the drivers.
Support the drivers.
The workers in New York, support the drivers.
Support the drivers.
The workers in Africa, support the drivers.
Support the drivers.
Workers in Europe, support the drivers.
Support the drivers.
Workers in Asia, support the drivers.
Support the drivers.
Workers in Latin America, support the drivers.
Support the drivers.
I don't have a list in my hand of all the cities where drivers are striking. But the ones I remember, Nairobi. In Nigeria. Costa Rica. Buenos Aires. In several cities in Brazil. The first strike began in Sydney, because of the time thing, began in Sydney and Melbourne. And there were strikes as far away as Indonesia. Almost every major city in England. Paris and Italy. So this is a global strike of gig workers, and it's been coming for a long time. Finally it's here, and now that it's here, look out.
Well, as messages of hope for the potential that organizing together can bring, I think that everyone out here today knows, without a shadow of a doubt, that the only way for things to get better for rideshare drivers is if we all stand up together and fight for a better future. But it's not just our futures we're fighting for. All of us have had a front row seat to witness the early stages of a new era in app-enabled exploitation. Do we like what we've seen? No! These Silicon Valley 1%ers have only one goal: to slowly but surely turn us partners into an underclass so that they can become modern-day robber barons. In pursuit of their get-rich-quick schemes, they enter the market with a careless disregard for more than a century of labor protections that our brothers and sisters in history literally died for. But they're not going to stop with for-hire drivers. They're coming for everyone. They won't rest until they've undercut and gigafied and automated away every sector of the market until there's nothing left that's not under their control. From the bus drivers who brought us here today, to the reporters and videographers capturing this moment right now.
Thank you.
From the retail workers who sold us our cars, to the food and grocery workers who feed us every day, to the longshoremen and truckers who form the backbone of our economy, dog walkers, delivery drivers, warehouse workers, pilots, therapists, teachers. Every single industry is in their sights to be absorbed into the gig economy and ultimately destroyed through automation. 50% of jobs will be freelance by 2027. 47.
University of New York. So we talk about private enterprises like Uber and Lyft, but it's not just Uber and Lyft anymore. It's city agencies, state agencies hire gig workers so they don't have to pay benefits. They don't have to pay union organizing. They don't let the workers organize. Workers don't get any benefits. So when we talk about the gig economy, we want to talk about it's not just Uber and Lyft, it's everyone that's doing freelance work. So I just want to say, I'm just going to wrap it up, that it's hard. I know it's hard for everyone that's a worker, but it's hard when you do most of your labor and you get paid pennies on the dollar. You're lucky if you get paid 25 cents on the dollar. And I'm just getting emotional, but I want people to think about that. And when people call a strike, we say worker solidarity. There are no walls in the workers' struggle. No walls in the workers' struggle.
No walls in the workers' struggle.
No walls in the workers' struggle.
No walls in the workers' struggle.
Thank you.
Uber, go to hell!
Más de 3 años, ok, y con esta marcha queremos dar a conocer los precios tan
Go
bajos.
to hell! We support the drivers! Uber, go to hell! We support the drivers! Uber, go to hell! What?
We support the drivers.
Uber, go to hell!
We support the drivers.
Uber, go to hell!
We support the drivers.
Uber, go to hell!
We support the drivers.
Sisters and brothers, I hope we got a few more people that can come up and say a few words.
I want to hear
Just
from
keep-
a driver.
Any drivers here? Any drivers here? They'll be coming. We'll be here for a while. They'll be coming.
Here.
Oh, great. Oh, we got someone from the Laundry Workers Center.
Oh, yeah.
These are heroes in the labor movement in this city. I just want you to think. So many of these drivers, not just rideshare drivers with the apps, but yellow cab drivers. Their life is so hard. They make so little. They work so long.
It's really great. Luis really drove it home for those of us who don't speak Spanish. But, people are working, we're working 40, 50, 60 hours. And then when Uber cut the wages in March, people are now having to work longer than that. So 6.5 days a week is not paying the rent. It's not right. And it hurts families. So what I want to do now is bring up one of our road warriors, a driver and a volunteer driver organizer, Stephanie. And please come up, let him know.
Hello, I'm Stephanie St. I've been a driver since the summer of 2015, and we're accusing Lyft and Uber from stealing from us, plain out theft. And now we have a few examples. The driver here, see this example? The driver here was paid $3.52. Uber received $38.29. I repeat, this is $3.52. That is all the driver got. That is all the driver had. And Uber took $38.29. That is thievery. Flat out. It is. Okay, the passenger paid $79. the driver only received $29.50 of that.
Call that
Thief! Robbery! I have another example.
We are here today in solidarity with all the workers, especially the Uber and Lyft drivers. We are here in solidarity with the working class because all the people in the working class need good conditions at the workplace. Doesn't matter if it's a gig economy, if it's a gig job, we as the workers deserve good wages, good salaries, and good conditions for support our families and to have better conditions. We at the Laundry Workers Center are fighting for laundromat workers and food service workers. Right now, we are reaching out all the laundromat workers in the city. Especially, we have a campaign in East Harlem, another in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, because this workforce are women of color, Asian, Latinas, Afro-descendants, and we need to pay attention. Most of the time, these people are not getting minimum wage. They are not giving nor overtime. The conditions about health and safety are very, very bad. And we are fighting to organize, to have better conditions for all those workers. So we need the support. We are here today in solidarity, and we want to be to have the drivers in solidarity with laundromat workers as well as food service workers. So power to the people, power to the worker.
Thanks, Rosanna, for coming out. The struggle of the Laundry Workers Center is really important and really heroic, brave workers. Now, one of the really brave things about the Laundry Workers Center and many of the workers coming out today is they don't have a lot of job protections. They don't have a lot of job protections. If Uber wants to shut their app off, they could do that. And so it's really brave for them to come out today. I want to talk a little bit about this idea of the precariat. Anybody heard this word? Precarious workers. People are saying this is a new thing, that there are these precarious workers. I think it's important to point out that workers have always been precarious. Workers have always been precarious. Wherever you work, your boss always has the power over you, and you have to constantly fight back against that. You want to fight back against that. Who here has ever had their boss call you a team member? Who's ever had that happen? How about you're part of the family? You're part of a family, right? You're here to work together. We're buddies. That's wrong. Your boss is not your friend. Your bosses here on Wall Street are here to make millions and billions of dollars off your labor. They're not your buddy. They're not here to help you out. You're doing them a favor for working for them, not the other way around. And we're out here in solidarity with workers together to send that message out there, to make that clear just exactly who's really got the power, who's really doing the work. You know, you might hear that people who run companies like Uber, who invent apps, or people like Elon Musk are innovators. And that's why they need billions of dollars, because they've come up with these brilliant innovations. Well, the innovation of Uber, the innovation of Amazon is finding a way to exploit workers more. That's the trick. The only reason Uber can make money, the only reason Uber is successful, is that they have found a way to exploit workers even worse than the taxi industry. The whole reason Uber works is that they have so many drivers on the road to make sure you can call someone in 30 seconds that it's impossible for any one driver to earn a decent living. The only reason Uber works as a company is because they can offload all the costs of the cars, all the risks of investing in the capital, of getting the cars onto the workers themselves. That's their whole plan. They don't have any brilliant strategy that makes them innovators. They just know how to rip off their workers. That's it. There's nothing fancy about it. It's just like Amazon. There's nothing brilliant about Amazon's strategy. They just have workers killing themselves in warehouses, like the heroic Amazon workers in Staten Island. They're trying to unionize right now. Solidarity with the workers at Amazon, right? Right? Having to work 12-hour shifts without time for a bathroom break so Jeff Bezos can become the richest man in the world. Fuck you, Jeff Bezos. Fuck you. And fuck all your buddies here on Wall Street, all right? all right? We know who really has the power, we know who really does the work, and it ain't these clever people here in Wall Street with their fancy shows on Fox Business and whatnot. They ain't doing shit. They're just taking the shit from the people who are doing the shit, and that's you, the workers, all right? All right, so we need to stand in solidarity together, because together we are strong. By ourselves we are weak, but together we are strong. So solidarity with the heroic Uber drivers who went on strike today.
Now the trust and safe fee is $2.30, and they don't have no more mentors. They're hiring everybody. What is sad about this movement is that we created a monster that we're trying to defeat today. We give them all the millions that they have. Now we're trying to defeat them, and we were the ones who made them who they are. Do you see them saying,
join us? But this point should be made. The time has come. Actually, it's always been true. But more and more now because workers are under attack. When workers go on strike, no matter what industry they're in, no matter what country they're in, more of us, regardless of where we work, regardless of what language we speak, regardless of where we live, we have to find a way to support these workers. It can't just be, well, I'm not a driver, good luck, but that's not me. Or I don't live in that city, good luck, that doesn't, no, the world is very small. And working people have never been more dependent upon each other's support and solidarity. And so hopefully this year, one of the good things that can come out of this year is that more and more people get that feeling that, yeah, I'm going to support struggles. Whether it's the laundry workers, whether it's other gig workers, whether it's drivers, whether it's workers who are lucky enough to have a union like the Spectrum workers, but they've been fighting now for a number of years. I'm going to take some ownership, not out of sympathy, not out of charity, because you know what? We're all gig workers. We're all in the same boat. So many of us are not drivers. Some of us are gig workers in other industries, but we're trying to make a point here. It's not just on the drivers to support the strike. All of us have to support the strike. They've got to know, the CEOs and bankers who make billions in that building, the New York Stock Exchange, they've got to know that they're alone. They're isolated, not the workers. That's their game. Divide and conquer. Oh, that one's not going to care about that one, so let's just chop them up. Make more money. They've got to know that game is over. You are alone in your mansion, in your tower, wherever you're hiding with your money. You are alone. But the workers, more and more, are standing together. The workers of the world support the drivers. 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 The workers of the world support the drivers.
Thank you, everybody. We're stuck in a place now where young people are all in the gig economy. My friends, we're all just doing gigs, dead-end jobs. We need somewhere to go. We need to show solidarity with the Lyft and Uber drivers because it is something that we are all facing. We're not in a team with these, we're not a team, sorry, yeah.
You can do it. Speak from the heart. You got it.
We're all just doing gigs. We're all just trying to get by. People with doing Uber, people doing Lyft, people doing sex work, people.
They chose that thing.
You got it. Yeah, come back. You know, workers who have never gotten together, met each other, made common cause are now coming out. You know, but we're all turning into revolutionaries because that's what this struggle needs. And the rich who make so much off the soul.
When for the past 3 years I've been driving, they've been getting richer and richer while we've been getting poorer and poorer. But without drivers, they don't have a company. We are united. Every person standing here, striking today, that's right, we're getting bigger. And every person standing here is money Uber and Lyft are not getting today. And you know they're taking 50, 60, 70% of the fare, so the numbers are on our side. But there's nothing magical about Uber and Lyft. Their app is not a magic wand. They're just doing what Walmart and Amazon and every other lousy employer has done for decades, paying a dehumanizing wage and sending all the profits of all hard work to a few people at the top. Yes! That's right, we're all... So that money's getting sent to the people at the top while our cars are getting older and our bank accounts are getting emptier every year. Yes, go! But you know what? They weren't expecting this today. And frankly, neither were we. When we started planning Apps Off May 8th, we were hoping maybe a few more U.S. cities would join. But we've been amazed by the response, by your response, and everyone out there's response. That's right. We have Chicago, New York, San Diego, San Francisco, DC, Boston, Atlanta, Las Vegas. Hey, you know what? Let's hear it for Fresno. Why not? Fresno joined in. I know, and I'm just talking about the United States because we got the UK. We got the UK on board. 4 cities over there. UK is having their own nationwide day of action.
South America, Central America.
Oh, hey, yeah, Australia. Before I get there, we got South America. Who we got South America?
Uruguay, Panama,
Uruguay, Chile,
Brazil,
Peru, Brazil,
Costa Rica,
Mexico. They're all with
Live their
us.
life every day. We all out here struggling from check to check. So when someone calls a strike, you should be there. If they strike, we strike. If we boycott, they boycott. That's the way it's supposed to be. We all know what's going on. Nobody is in the closet anymore about anything. Thank you.
If anybody else wants to come up and share, don't have to be eloquent, just make it real.
Hi everybody. I just want to say something about gig workers and healthcare. I'm a healthcare worker and I see many patients who work as gig workers, who work in other jobs, and they have no healthcare. So many of them have chronic illnesses like diabetes, which requires really expensive medications, but they can't get them. So basically, if you have a job in the gig economy without any health care, it's like saying, well, too bad. You're not going to be able to survive if you happen to be a little older and even a little younger, because some people very young develop chronic illnesses and need medications that are very, very expensive. So this is part of it. It's like workers have to have health care. They have to have benefits. They can't go out there and work for nothing, and if something happens to them, they're nowhere. They have nothing to survive on. There's no future. So that's it. Gig workers need benefits. Uber workers need benefits. All workers need benefits.
Woo! Worker solidarity. No walls in the workers' struggle. 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 Woo! Woo! So my name is Terry from the People's Power Assembly, and I'm going to speak from my experience as a disabled worker. Disabled workers have always been precarious workers. Always. If we get a job, it's because something called the Commission for the Blind, which is an agency that helps blind and visually impaired people get jobs, will offer accommodations, accessibility, equipment, or whatever. And they will give you a potential place of employment a tax break for 3 months. But as soon as that 3 months is over, you're out of a job. Because basically they hired you to get the tax break. So precarious workers, as been stated before, gig workers are precarious workers. Black women who are gays, black men who are shoe shine, who work the elevator, have always been precarious workers. Migrant workers are precarious workers. And sex workers are precarious workers. And a lot of millennials are precarious workers. Living from paycheck to paycheck. One paycheck away from being evicted. One paycheck away from having, if you have a serious illness, you have no health care. You have no job eventually. So when we talk about gig workers and Uber drivers, they're precarious workers. If they don't work 16 hours a day, at least 6 days a week, no rent, no food. So when we say worker solidarity, we want all workers to realize we're all precarious workers if we're not part of that 1%, 10%, $15, $20 to make this happen. Woo! Whatever you can give, it makes a big difference. So, I think we still, do we have any pizza left over there? Okay, I think we may be out of pizza, but we're not out of chicken. And we're certainly not out of strength for this fight. Yeah.
Right now we are on strike because we feel like we are being cheated. Uber will charge the customer a lot of money and pay us less.
Drivers united will never be defeated. Drivers united will never be defeated.
We matter, drivers count, drivers' lives count, and to stop unnecessary activations and give us a fair, decent pay. That's all we're asking for. So that's a protest in peace in support of all the drivers around the country.
What do we want? Fair wages. When do we want them now? What do we want? Fair wages. Now. Fair wages. Now.
Uber and Lyft should take notice because we were able to do this in New York City in their biggest market in 5 days of public notice.
What do we want? Fair pay. What do we want? Fair pay. What do we want? Fair pay. What do we want? Fair pay.
People are dying. That's the bottom line to it. People are working so many hours and still not being able to feed their families.
Turn off apps. Turn off apps. Turn off apps. Turn off apps.
Right now we are on strike because we feel like we are being cheated. Uber will charge the customer.
Speaking of which, slavery by another name, do people know what that refers to? Slavery by another name refers to prisoners who may make 20 cents an hour making stuff or doing services. So I just want to wrap up and say there are no walls in the working struggle. This strike is ongoing throughout the world today for Uber and Lyft drivers, and workers show solidarity by supporting them. It only works when we all band together as workers. Thank you.
Disabled workers deserve decent jobs with benefits.
Disabled workers deserve decent jobs with benefits.